Hey, it's Pastor Stephen here from First Baptist Church in Watsonville, and today I want to talk with you a little bit about God's love amidst the coronavirus. When we think about who God is, what His character is like, or what defines Him, love is typically the first thing that comes to mind. Even for those who don't even believe in God, they say, oh, God is love. That's what John writes in his letter to us. He tells us God is love. God is love multiple times. Paul in his letters as well tells us that God demonstrates His love to us on the cross. We hear it over and over and over again. God is love. But sometimes, in our experiences, God doesn't seem very loving. How could a loving God allow sickness to overrun the world? How could a loving God let so many people suffer and die? If God is loving, couldn't He, or even wouldn't He, stop all these things from happening? It doesn't just have to be about the coronavirus. It could be about any other disaster, whether it's a natural disaster like the tornadoes in Nashville. It could be war. It could be injustice. It could be personal things in our lives of failing a class or a test, broken relationship, whatever it may be. So the question we have is, couldn't a loving God keep all of this from happening? The answer is yes, but He doesn't. To understand why, we need to recognize a couple of things. First, love is not the only character trait of God. He is holy, just, faithful, all-powerful, sovereign, self-sufficient. We could go on and on about who God is, but the important thing to recognize is that love is not the only one. There's other attributes of God. God is loving, yes, but God's love is expressed in agreement, in harmony with His other traits as well. So God cannot do an act of love that would be unholy or unjust. Think about it. This is the very reason why God sent His Son to die on the cross to pay the penalty for our sin. God could have simply just said, it's forgiven. That's all good. But if He did that, He would not have remained holy. He would not have remained just. And so He could not do that. The Father sent His Son to die in our place as an amazing expression of love while maintaining His holiness, His righteousness, His justice by punishing sin. They are all in agreement with one another. The cross is an amazing place where all of God's attributes are displayed and shown. And second, our understanding of love is incomplete. I don't know about you, but I don't love perfectly. I don't know of anyone who loves perfectly. Do you? No one, right? If you get a whole bunch of people together, they're not even going to be able to agree on what true love really is. And yet, we criticize God when His love doesn't match what we think it's supposed to be. So rather than questioning God's love, we should question our own love and compare it to see if it's like God's. 3, we live in a broken and damaged world. It was broken and damaged when mankind first sinned, when we did our own thing and rebelled against God. And because of that curse, there's natural disasters, there's disease, broken relationships, there's people hurting one another, there's war. All of these different terrible things are a byproduct of that rebellion against God. God could have wiped mankind out at the very beginning, the first time, but He didn't, because He wanted to demonstrate His love to us. He wanted to restore us, to show off His love. God is holding back His justice, holding it back, so that more people can know about Jesus, more people can hear the good news and be saved. So when we consider the current state of the world, with the coronavirus impacting our lives, we might find ourselves asking the question, is God loving? But we can answer it with a resounding yes. God is loving. He is just and holy and faithful and all of His other things too. And despite the brokenness of our world, God is working He is working in ways that we may not fully understand. God is being loving in the midst of our lives in our turmoil. I may not fully understand what God is doing or why He's doing it, but I know that He is loving because God is loving. That's it. Be safe. Show love because we are loved. Bye.